So I think sci-fi and freeform will want any excuse to have a Harry Potter movie marathon because once again they're having a Harry Potter weekend movie marathon on Sci-Fi Channel and it's not even a holiday. I just find that really funny that essentially they will come up with any excuse just to have a Harry Potter marathon. I mean, granted, I kind of do that too, but it's just for me. It's not for the whole audience. Well, anyway, welcome to Jackie's Literary Corner. I am Jackie, and I'm going to do a books update for you guys. So I thought what I would do is do kind of a wrap up at the end of every week. Now I don't guarantee I'll actually finish anything at the end of every week, but I would like to, update you guys in a more consistent and scheduled fashion. And at least I'll have, and I at least would like to have, like I said, at least one video that's consistent. So hopefully I will stick to that. So it's either going to be today, which is Saturday, or it's going to be on a Sunday. Although I think I should make it a Saturday if I want to be technical, because Sunday is the beginning of the new week. So I think I'll film it either Friday or Saturday and upload it. Either film it Friday or Saturday, and then upload it for Saturday. And today I was also off, which I do not like. I mean, I used to think, oh yay, it's such a relief to have at least one day off, but then now I've been thinking, well yeah, it's a relief to have one day off, but then I have to go back to work again for a few more days. I mean, not like my work, I don't mean it as in like my work is going to end or I'm going on a huge vacation. I mean as in, I have a day off, then I go back to work for 2 days, day off, go back to work for 2 days. I'm starting to not like that because it's like one day to relax and do what you want, just chill or, whatever, and whatever you like to do or need to do in some cases, especially if you're like, you're a parent or something, then you'll probably have a lot of stuff to do. And it's kind of like, how can you get all that done in one day? And then, the next day I have to go back to work. Now, the good news is with my job, I applied to be part-time, so I don't have as many work days or as many hours. But still, it kind of sucks just having only one day off, Like last Wednesday, Wednesday was my day off earlier this week, my first day off this week. And what ended up happening is we ended up having errands to run because, I think we had to go to Walmart to get my mom got me some new khakis. And so we had to do that, and then my parents had to go to Lowe's hardware stores for a couple things. I mean, I got awesome news that there is a used bookstore in the town in, I don't know if it's considered Southern Pines or Aberdeen where we were. But there wasn't a used bookstore there. It just opened in December, so it literally just opened. So it doesn't have a big selection right now. I mean, they weren't even finished loading the shelves. And the awesome news is that they actually will take credit. You get credit for bringing in books. Like the Gibbons bookstore that's 10 to 15 minutes walking distance from me, they don't do the whole credit. You get credit for donating books. You could get a receipt though for tax purposes, although I don't think they do. I'm not sure if they do that anymore. And my mom says she doesn't. My mom keeps saying she thinks they don't do that anymore. But, just in case they do, she said a couple times, oh, maybe you should do it just in case. Maybe they still will start doing it, or maybe I misheard. So I always feel like maybe I should every time I donate books there. But the problem, but they don't do you can't donate books for credit. Which in other words means if you bring in books, you can use the money that paid for those books to get more books. You're getting the books for free. Like once you donate them, then you can instead of getting cash back, you can use that money to pay for and get more books from the store. So they're kind of free, except we're not exactly free in this, in the sense that you have to at least you can't get free books unless they really, you can't get free books unless you have books to give to them. And that's, I think, what Elliot Brooks and her husband do. They donate books to their local used bookstores, and then they get credit for it, and they use that credit to get more books. And there were a few, like, Dickens and stuff, and, so, as long as they're still there and haven't been bought yet, I'm going to, I think, when I finally do get to go, because at first I was going to look around for a little bit while my parents ran errands, but then my mom suggested, well, why don't you just, wait until you have books that you can donate to them, and then you can get books for free. Which, yeah, I get why. That makes sense. Instead of spending money there, even if it's not a lot of money, why don't you, instead of doing that, I could just wait until I have books to donate, which I do, but I can't drive myself. I can't drive myself there, and, granted, I could take public transport, but, for my first visit, I'll just wait until my mom has a day off or something. But, or my dad offers. Although, my dad would not be as prone to offer. But my mom, I'll probably end up going with my mom, when she has a day off, she'll taking me up there. Besides, I don't want to, take public transport with a bag full of books. I would rather be in my own car, or at least I should say my parents' car, rather than, having to rely on a stranger's car. So, unless it's a friend, of course. And they're sticking around to shop with me. But, it would just be, so I'm going to, like I said, at some point, hopefully I'll get to go. And maybe by then they'll have a better selection of books to choose from. But anyway, so let me turn on the light real quick, because I don't have the light on in my room. I don't know if that's better or not. But anyways, okay, so what's going on with my reading? Oh, and the other thing I forgot. Sorry, I should be more prepared than this. I have at least one book I finished this month, and that was this one, Oh Pioneers by Willa Cather. I gave it 3 stars on Goodreads because I did like it. I enjoyed reading it, but it wasn't I gotta admit, it wasn't the best book ever. But it was good. It's about this woman, Alexandra, that's her name, Alexandra, and her dad's dying when he's on his deathbed, knowing that she is passionate about their family. Let me see what they call it. Okay, so they're referred to as a farm. She is told she inherits the farm, their family farm, from her father on his deathbed, because he knows that she's the only one who has the skills and the passion to take care of the farm. So she gets to manage it, despite the fact that her brothers don't necessarily agree with it, but they go along with it because their dad is dying. And it's about her taking care of the farm and basically sacrificing her personal life to manage the farm, while her brothers do all the more physical stuff. But unfortunately, that leads to her brothers not being happy, because even though at first they accept the situation, they don't agree with how their sister's running the farm, and they believe that they deserve the land to own the farm more so than she does. And it's all about this relationship and the relationship with the people in their town, and how everyone is judging Alexandra because she's a woman. And this is set, let me see. I can't think of what year this is. Let me see. I'll go by the copyright date when this was first published. 1930. So it's early 1900s. I don't know if that's when it was actually, but that's the copyright, the first published copyright date, so I'm going to go with that. Early 1900s. So, of course, there was prejudice towards women being in power, and even in the smallest way, like running a family farm. Her brothers did not think she was capable of it, and like I said, they didn't agree with how she ran things. She even sacrificed being with the man that she's known since her teenage years, that she was in love with. But at the same time, she's a little oblivious of as a character. She's very oblivious to people and is not very self-aware. And there's also this whole subplot with her baby brother, who she is desperate for him to go away to college and get educated and leave their town in Nebraska. And of course, her brothers resent that. Oh, it's getting sunny. Getting more and more sunny. Yay. Her brothers kind of resent that her younger brother is getting educated and becoming a very successful person. So like I said, I like this. It's like not a lot going on. It's not a fast moving plot, but it's not a long read either. It's like divided into sections, and then there's only a few chapters, a handful of chapters in each section, so it doesn't take that long to read. Of course, it's also again, it's a classic, so I don't know if this is the writing style, although it's early 1900s. So the writing style might be one of the more easier classics to read. I don't know, though. And one of the things I really loved is that Will Keller's beautiful descriptions of the Nebraska setting is it's so lovely, and you can picture the country, the beautiful countryside, and it's just so well described. And so it's such a beautifully described book. It's one of the pros of this novel is the beautiful writing. Now, I was also very frustrated with her older brothers, Lou and Oscar. I felt sorry for them at first because, yeah, I understand I have a tiny bit of understanding about hard labor because I don't work a farm or anything like that, but I do get, with my job, I do have to push the carts around, the shopping carts, and then I will sometimes have to lift things, help people, because most of our customers are older people. So I understand a little bit. It's definitely not the same as working on a farm, but it's not the same kind of labor they have to do. But I think if you do a job that requires a little bit of hard labor, like heavy lifting and stuff, then yeah, I think you deserve to say you have some understanding. And then, as the story progressed, and as her brothers Lou and Oscar continued giving their sister a hard time and disapproving, and when they essentially said, I'm going to put this down now, essentially when they were talking to her about this, and were basically telling her that it doesn't deserve to be equal between the three of them. She doesn't deserve to be managing the farm. They were like, well, you don't work as hard as us. It's like, no, she doesn't do the physical labor stuff, but that does not mean she doesn't work hard. She exercises a different part of her she exercises her brain, and she has to manage things. She is running this place. All you have to do is the physical labor, which, yes, that is hard. I'm not belittling that. That is definitely hard, and like I said, I can't entirely understand how hard that is, but at the same time, it doesn't mean that her work is meaningless and deserves to be belittled. She has all this stress. It may not be physically demanding, but it's mentally demanding. And she has sacrificed her personal life to manage this farm, to be a good manager. And maybe she doesn't always make the best decisions. I'm no expert, but I still think she deserves to manage this land, to have authority and have equal, at least it should be divided equally among the three of you, not, you guys getting more than your sister, and the way they treat her is they act like she's just their partner, that their boss or whatever, and she's their sister, the one who's taking care of them since their dad has gotten sick, and their mom hasn't been able, they're since their dad has been sick, and their mom has not exactly been the most parental figure, most responsible as a parental figure. Not irresponsible, but she hasn't been the best from the little bit we got of the mom. Granted, we've only got a little bit of the mom. Alexandra has been doing this hard work. It may not be physically demanding, but it's still demanding on her emotional core and on her mind. And I just wanted to punch her brothers in the face. And it felt so sexist and so unfair. And it was like, are you kidding me? She's your sister. She has been taking care of you and been managing your home, and you just treat her like, oh yeah, well, you don't deserve it because you don't work as hard as we do. So, I couldn't stand her older brothers. I liked the other brother. I liked the younger brother. I can't remember his name. Emil. That's right. Emil. I liked him. I mean, there were times I got a little annoyed by him too. Like, he seemed kind of oblivious to his friend, the woman that he was friends with, who ended up, she married someone else. She was married to someone, but I could tell that I think there was supposed to be something between the two of them. I mean, I know there was, because at the end of the story, like, something happens between the two of them, and I almost spoiled it for you guys. Like, there's some sexual tension, but of course she's married. So, he can be a little oblivious too, like his sister. This woman had to explain to him that his sister was in love with that one guy, and that she's had to give up a lot to make sure he gets an education and stuff like that. And had to explain to him that part of his sister would love for him to stay. This girl had to tell him that part of his sister would have liked him to stay and help take care of him, be her partner in crime, be her partner in crime, to help her, be her, because he's the only one that's loyal to her and sees her side other than the farmhands. Which, yeah, there's half of the farmhands are her friends and stuff, but Emil is her brother. So, it would be nice to have an ally, but of course she also at the same time wanted him to get away, have a life, get an education, do something better with his life instead of being stuck in this town. And which is one of the other reasons, the other part of the reason why I did feel sorry for Lou and Oscar in the beginning, because that's what they were afraid of, being stuck. And I understand the feeling of not wanting to be stuck somewhere. Like, before we moved here, I was very worried we would never move, because we had 3 rejections before someone finally bought our house. And it was very, nerve-wracking and disappointing, and I was worried we would never leave Maryland, Waldorf, Maryland. The rest of Maryland's fine. It's Waldorf, where my hometown, that I just did not like. The only thing good about it is I still have 2 best friends there. So I understand the feeling of knowing to be stuck somewhere, wanting to go on adventures and live an exciting life. But yeah, it's good. It's interesting. Definitely. I don't know if it will be worth checking out or not, but maybe get it if you get it at the library. Although this one was $8.95, so not too bad. Although it's $8.95 at the Barnes and Noble. But of course, I got it for like $3 because I got it at Gibbons. The only way you can tell, granted, that might be me that caused that, but the way you can tell it's easy, you can see I don't know if you see that the dark brown stains. So, which is probably chocolate, and then there's like a sticky. The sticky part might be my fault, although the other stuff might be my fault too. But yeah, you can tell when a book is used. Just hopefully it's not too used. Okay, so what I'm trying to do is, so next, I'm focusing on this particular library book, then I'll get back to The Witch Elm, which is right here. The Witch Elm by Tana French. I hope I don't keep saying, when I talk about this book, I hope I haven't kept saying Donna Tartt instead of Tana French. But it's slow moving. It's very slow moving. We haven't even got to the part where he goes back to stay with his grandfather. We're still like in the hospital where he's trying to figure out what happened and trying to understand it. As you see, this starts with our main character, what's his name? Our main character, Toby. He had an incident at his job that, something almost happened where he got fired, but things were fixed. So he's celebrating that, but then when he comes home after celebrating, when he's kind of, I think he's on, I want to say he's high on a roof or something. He has 2 burglars in his house and they beat him to death. And when he ends up in the hospital with, and he like only vaguely remembers what happened. And that's as far as I have not got very far in this book. Like I said, I haven't even gone to the part where he goes to his grandfather's, because I know from what people said in the description he ends up going to his, I think it's his grandfather. Well, it doesn't say that, it just says, his family homestead or whatever, and from what I know, he ends up finding a skull in a tree, the witch elm, and he's trying to figure out, sorry, my back is still itchy, it's still irritated, and he's basically, the rest of the novel will be about him trying to figure out the whole deal with that and what happened all those years ago. And it probably, I'm guessing, has something to do with why he doesn't have a good relationship with his cousins right now. But right now I'm just kind of focusing on book 6 of the Keeper of the Lost City series, Nightfall. And once again, the stakes continue to get higher and higher. They still can't figure out they're trying to figure out the whole deal with Nightfall and what it is and what it means. They're having to work with Keith's mom, and this, once again, reluctantly. Or this time they're having to work with Keith's mom. And I'm so rooting for Sophie and Keith to be a couple. I like Fitz as a character, but I want Keith to be the end game. And just the way that Keith and Sophie are acting towards each other, I like to believe that's the direction it's going, but I'm not entirely sure. Which actually I think makes me wonder, because I've been obsessing over Mackie and Alexa from I can't remember their channel name. They're 2 booktubers, I believe they're married actually, a married couple team. And they have been reading this series too, and I think them, along with Reagan from Peruse Projects, are the ones who convinced me to pick up the series. And I've been wanting to know who they're referring to as their favorite, Mackie's favorite, who he's rooting for. And I was thinking he was rooting for my favorite, who I'm rooting for, Keith. But then there were things he said made me wonder, maybe he's more Team Fitz, and that he's not a fan of Keith, because the books seem, at least to me anyways, the books seem to be going in that direction. Keith, but I don't know. I just feel like Fitz would be too predictable. But if she does end up with, if Shannon Messenger has her end up with Fitz, it's not the end of the world. I'm not going to be one of those, like, it bugged me how people in the Gersha trilogy are like, all like, oh, she shouldn't have ended up with Mal, she should have been alone, Alina. And it's like, well, I know Mal did not look good in the second book, but you know what? It's what the character and what the author wants. She wants Mal to be the end game, and Alina loved Mal, so I feel like, so if Fitz is the end game, then I'm gonna, yeah, I might not like it, but you know what? It's how the author wrote it and what wrote Sophie to want. That's who she wrote her to want. And like I said, I feel like at the moment, it feels like it's leaning towards Keith. But I don't know. I could totally be wrong. It's just like I said, the ways, the strong emotions between them make me think that's the direction, but it might be me just hoping that's the direction they're going. But it's just, the books just get better and better, and so much is happening, and it's such a fast read because I think that's because it's written for younger readers, so they Shannon Messenger has that in mind for when she's writing these books. I've thought about turning one of my books, if I ever write one, writing a middle grade series, because it would be a little bit easier to write middle grade in some ways. In some ways it would be harder, but some ways it would be easier. Because then you don't have to worry about, certain things that I feel like, and you can be silly in your book, in a middle grade book. Not too silly, but silly that, But at the same time, I want to do things that you can only do in a teen or adult novel, But then at the same time, those are the things that some of those things that I want to do are also things that I'm not very good at. Like the intimate, romantic stuff. I mean, the characters just talking and then maybe kissing is a little bit but the other stuff that goes beyond kissing, I'm not that great at. Of course, Terry would probably tell me otherwise because I was one of those people who wrote fan fiction. But, it's so, it's just so, I love these covers. I love the covers. I love the clothes that the characters sometimes are wearing. I would love to see an adaptation for the series. I know it'll be very nerve-wracking because a lot of times when they adapt things, they can't do everything that we would love them to do, and they don't know our minds. They're not psychics. So, but I'd love for something and now I think a lot of people will probably say animation is better because you're not as limited with the animation, but I almost would love for my first instinct is always go for a live action adaptation for something like this. And also, I feel like they could really do a better job at showing how good looking the elves are in a live action, because you can get a very attractive person to play a very attractive teenager to play our main characters. But then, at the same time, though, it's beauty's in the eye of the beholder, so it would be kind of hard to find the perfect person to match what in animation saves you that trouble, because you have to cast a voice, but you don't have to cast someone for the physical part of it. You are creating the physical part of it by drawing it. What else can I say about this? There was something else I was going to say, but I can't remember. So probably books 8 and 9 I'm probably have to buy if I want to keep reading this, which I do because I'm really loving this series, because there's one more book at the library, and I don't know if the library is going to have books 8 and 9 at the library or not. I hope they do, but I mean, because I would feel weird just buying those 2 books and not getting the rest of the series, so I would feel like I need to get the rest of the series, which, not bad things, I like it, but it's just more books, that in more of something, a book that, yes, I absolutely love, but at the same time, am I in love with the series? So great. It's just so fun. I love that. Okay, let's see. So now I'm trying to focus more on this series, Theft of Swords, the Rhyria Revelations by Michael J. Sullivan. As you can see, I'm almost done with this one, the first volume. And like I said, my theory still stands. I still have the same theory I did about Hadrian's character. I don't know if I'm going to be right or not, but it seems like every time I look, I kind of cheat and look on the last page and read a little bit of it. I haven't read the whole thing, just the last couple sentences. Makes me think, makes me wonder if my theory is correct about Hadrian. I don't know yet. I might not be correct, but especially as he's one of the main characters, and there's this whole thing about this, the whole, Heir of Navron, which the third and final book is called that, Heir of Navron, so it makes me suspicious that he might be that heir, but I don't know, he might not be. But just whenever they have a main character and some, I think in fantasy, when there's the main character, I mean, there's like a missing heir to the throne or something, and then you have the, I feel like a main character is always gonna be that missing heir or something, like the lost, prince or whatever. There's like, why would they, unless there, although I guess there's a possibility that they will stumble upon them in the middle of the series. But I just feel like it's always going to be like a main character that's been introduced right in the first book. So the second volume is essentially, right now there, Royce and Hadrian are helping this town that's being plagued by a monster that's eating the villagers. And I do, and then, meanwhile, Princess Arista, she has been sent by her brother Alric to be a envoy or a slash spy. She is sent to, I can't remember what she's sent to spy. I don't know what to, and she finds out from that her uncle and this guy were working together this whole time, and then Ezra Haddon is really the one who was after their father. Although, I don't know about that, unless Ezra Haddon is just a very good actor at playing the nice guy. I'm still suspicious of that maybe the uncle and this other guy whose name I can't remember are still kind of the enemy, and that they're just manipulating everything. But Ezra Haddon could still be a bad guy. I don't know yet. But, it is just like Elia Brookston. It's just fun and jolly good time, and I'm sure there are a lot of tropes and cliches that the series has in it. But I mean, it's just I enjoy reading these, and they're easy to read. They're there's a word for it. I can't think of the word. But they're just it's fun. It's just a fun series. I think that's a series that was given to Daniel Green. So what else? So I haven't got very far in any of these books. But okay, so I finally decided once again to start my reread of The Night Circus again. And I think what I need to do this time was put it on Goodreads to show that I was reading it. Because that way I would be motivated to read it, to actually show the progress of it. Now this, funnily enough, is one of those books that I read and loved long before book 2, where Goodreads came along. Like, probably like 2013 or 14. Let me see when the copyright date for this book is. Because it has to be like a year or two after the book actually came out, because the paperback edition was 2011, so either 2012 or 2013. So either 2012 or 2013 is when I read this, and I just remember absolutely loving it. So I finally decided to get around to it, because I didn't know. It was just funny that it was popular, and that Erin Morgenstern, which I bought, you guys saw in my book haul, my Christmas haul, that I finally got the Starless Sea, so I read that was enough of a motivator to reread this one. This series, it's like a fairy tale, I feel like, and just another novel with beautiful writing, and so whimsical. You just get lost in the story. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, and there are things people have issues with it. But I remember loving it, and I probably love it still because I'm easy. I'm easy to please as long as there's an engaging plot. Which reminds me, so I ended up DNFing Pamela. That's the next class I decided to read. Pamela by Samuel Richardson. And I DNF'd it. And I read, as I always do, I read the reviews on Goodreads, see if, I can get some justification for DNFing it. And one review kind of bugged me a little bit, because it was like saying, like, I get that they don't understand why people don't love this book and that they love it. That's great. I'm glad you love it. I respect that. But it does feel like it kind of bothered me. I mean, I know it shouldn't, because it's just their one review. Who cares what they think? I don't even know this person. Them saying that, the only reason people don't love this book because they don't understand it. They are forgetting that it's a different time period. It's, that's what people would have liked back then. And, they don't like the length of the book or something, or they are bothered by the fact it's an epistolary novel and as in written in letter format. But it's not that. I thought the letter concept was very interesting, and I feel like you really got to know the characters through the letters. But I'm sorry, I just found the book kind of boring. I need a more interesting, engaging plot. It was basically, like I said, it's an epistolary novel, so it's written in letter format, and it's letters exchanged between Pamela, our main character, and her parents. She's a 15-year-old young woman working in a house. Her mistress has just died, and her boss is being really nice to her and giving her gifts and stuff and being so kind, talking about how so beautiful she is and, and how great she is. And her parents are a little nervous. They keep trying to warn her that, I think your new boss wants more from you than is appropriate. And eventually he crosses the line and kisses her. So the rest of the time, he's basically sexually harassing her, not getting the message that she's trying to explain to him that she's not interested in that, or at least she doesn't want to pursue intimacy with this guy unless they get married. She wants to be pure and virtuous. And that's basically it. Him constantly harassing her, not getting the message, and manipulating things and acting like you're just the little hussy that's flirting with me, and oh no, it's not my fault, it's your fault, you're the one who was flirting with me, and being like, which was not the case. And promise, he's her boss, so he can get away with this. He's a rich man, and I did not realize this, but he's a squire. I did not realize he was a squire. So, I mean, that's how much I listen to this, I pay attention to this book, is that, I didn't realize that he was a squire. And he keeps trying to manipulate things, and then when his, I don't know if she's his aunt or what, or like a housekeeper or something, but she offers to give Pamela a place in her home, a job there, and her boss is like, oh no, your son might take advantage of her, and I think it's better if she stays here with me. And it's like, that's exactly what you're doing to her. You're trying to take advantage of her. And I found it totally, when I read I let myself be spoiled. And I think people said that by the end of it, finally he gets the message, and, and like, I don't know if I should say this because, well, you know what, it's an old, so, this is a spoiler, so this is essentially spoiler for Pamela. He gets the message and offers her marriage. He finally agrees to marry her, and it's like, that's total BS. It's like, really? Now, all of a sudden you changed your mind? Now, after all this time, you finally got the message? It's like, I did not believe that when I read that's what happened. But it's just, nothing happened in the book except for Pamela talking about how virtuous she is and how much she wants to remain pure and how she's afraid of this guy, which, yeah, I definitely felt sympathetic for her character. But, again, nothing happened. And I also do not and because even though I think having the book in this format allowed us to get more personal with the characters, or well, basically with Pamela only. The downside of that is she was basically just telling us what happened to her, about telling us the events and what he did to her. It didn't show it. And I remember the other thing that review talked about is not just, oh, you understand the time period and everything, and saying, but you have to remember, it's important and back then, and it did something for society back then. I get the message. I understand its significance and its importance at the time. It was one of the first English novels to be published, I believe that's what it said. It's like, I get that. I respect that. That's not the problem. The problem, again, is I've come to realize that I don't like the kind of plot where not a lot happens. I need at least a little bit to happen, and all that happened was she was exchanging letters, telling her parents about what happened with her and her boss, and how she feels like she can't fight him. I think I would be more interested in that if, even though I think the whole letters thing allows us insight into the character and makes it even more personal, I feel like at the same time the downside of that is that we don't actually see the events unfold. We're just told that the events unfolded. We're just told what happened. So it takes away the thrill of the story. It takes away the interestingness of the story. At least for me, anyway. So I ended up DNFing, which I hate to say that I DNF'd it, but I did. Of course, just like last year, I'm counting my DNFs, but I hope I don't have as many DNFs as I did last year. Because I feel like I still decided to make my goal only 10 books for the Goodreads goal. But at the same time, I feel like I want to try to get to 100 books again. And this time actually get to 100 books instead of counting the DNFs and then they really don't count because I didn't finish them. But they, as far as saying what it says on Goodreads, they count. I have not read this Pillars of the Earth or Spinning Silver lately. The last thing I read with Spinning Silver is Miriam is taken by the Fae Prince to his realm to basically turn silver into gold for him. And she is trying to find ways to make the situation more bearable because she's basically in a frozen kingdom. And of course, every time it snows in his kingdom to make his, it benefits him, making his palace all great and stuff. But it means it also snows in her family's village. So they're not very well taken care of. And then the other character, I can't remember her name, that girl and her brothers, they defend themselves from their father and escape after they accidentally kill him. And so they're on the move, but her baby brother, her youngest brother is going in her place to Miriam's house to help Miriam's mother out. And then I did not realize that there was a third character in here, but we got to the third character, and she's this duke's daughter who is married to the king. I believe he's a king or a prince. And I think he's half Fae. So she's marrying him, and then he intends to sick a monster on her, but she avoids it somehow each time, and now she's trying to make, like Miriam, she's trying to make the best of a bad situation, and trying to, form an alliance with this guy, and trying to, make friends with him, or at least form an alliance with him, and, I know we don't love each other or even like each other, but we can at least work together. Or at least I can give you a reason to keep me around, essentially. It's really interesting. I liked it. I'm really enjoying it. I'm probably one of the people who does love this just as much as Uprooted. And I want to buy Uprooted. That's another one I want to buy from, oh, there's no the. Sorry, I'm looking inside at the list of Naomi Novak's books. And I'm looking at I have documents that are a list of the books I have. And I also make a document with my TBRs and stuff when I do make TBRs. And I was writing the title of the third book on a TBR document. And I put the Black Powder War, but it's actually Black Powder War. That's Naomi Novak's Temporary series. I was waiting on reading that one because I want to read I want to buy the fourth one first, but I don't know if that's when that's going to happen. I'm trying to wait a little while before I buy books because I now have the capability to buy books off of Amazon. So I'm kind of waiting because my mom was like, don't buy any, because I had just, I actually had just ended up with, well, technically my dad's the one who spent the money because he offered to pay for it anyway. And it was never really, it's something I need to work on. My concept of money and how I shouldn't be spending it too carelessly. So we spent quite a bit of money because I picked up the Starless Sea and then 2 DVDs. Of course, it turned into this whole fiasco because I was dumb and did not realize that it was just the first movie and a digital copy of the second movie. Which, I'm talking about It, Chapter 2, by the way. So, basically I forced my dad to waste his money on the wrong thing. And, of course, once you open something at Walmart, the return policy is you essentially can't, if you decide to return it because it doesn't work or something, you basically have to buy the same thing, even if it's because you're returning because it's something that you didn't want. Because there is a good reason. It's like for copyright purposes. What if like you're pirating it, and just you stole off and put it on one of your DVDs, and then you're like, okay, I'm done with it, so I'm returning it now. They don't know if you're gonna do that if you're pirating the DVD. So on the one hand, I understand, but on the other hand, I'm like, how will I know if it works or not? What if something's wrong with it? What if it's defective or something? How will I know unless I opened it? So yeah, there is a possibility it could be, especially if it's a brand new thing. Like at Walmart, I don't think I guess if it's a brand new thing, then maybe. But things could happen at factories and stuff like that when they go through that whole process. But anyway, so yeah, but long story short, I did get the DVD. It's just I had my dad spend a lot of money on it, and I ended up writing my mom had me do the responsible thing and write my dad a check. And I did, in my defense, I did offer, but I probably didn't push it too much. I did offer to make up for it, and he didn't. But I did, because I knew my mom was right. So I'm ashamed, and I'm ashamed to admit this. But it's something I definitely need to work on and learn how to be better at being more responsible with my money. But, okay, so yeah, that's how it's going with Spinning Silver. I don't have much to say about this one. I didn't get very far. But I had a meaning to read this. I need to finally read some of my Ken Follett books. Because I haven't started. Like one of them, the Century trilogy is the regular size books, so they're kind of big, so it's hard to travel with them. And both of them are really chunky books, so I need to read quite a bit. And like I said, I bring these with me to work, and of course, again, I don't have a lot of time to really read. I only might get through one page. So, anyway. Okay, so there is that. Okay, and, I did read a little bit of, oh wait, that's not the right one. I don't know where is the one that I I did read Valor, but I haven't got very far. It's kind of like picks up right after the war, after this battle between the two countries. And I'm on chapter 4, and it's kind of the aftermath. Like, what is her name? Where is it? Cywin has been separated from her brother and her parents, and I think her dad is dead. Her dad has died. And she doesn't know where her brother is, where Corbin is. And once again, where is this? What is his name? And once again, let me see if I can find it. I'll know him when I see it. Where is his name? Let me see if I can find it. I'm trying to find the character's name in here because this one actually has a not Evanos. Where's his name? I'm trying to think of. Well, let me just look at the chapter title. Veridas. Veridas is like he's not entirely comfortable with the situation. Right now he is dealing with the aftermath, and he has friends from the other country that, might have died. So he's feeling guilty about that. And I still do not think this book series has a black sun they have a prophecy about a black sun and a morning star. Morning star being the good guy and the black sun being the chosen bad guy. And Prince, what is, sorry, I have to look at these because I can't remember the characters' names. Prince, it's not Evanos. What's his name? Prince. Again, I'll know it when I see it. No, that's not. No. Is it? No. Prince Lothair. That's Prince Lothair. He thinks he's the Morning Star, but I still don't think he's gonna be the Morning Star. I mean, I even wonder if he's gonna turn out to be the bad guy, the Black Sun. He just thinks he's the Morning Star. It's like, it's never, just because our heroes never figure out that quickly that they are the chosen one. Or at least, like, they don't come to that conclusion. And even if you find out, you are told right away that the character is the chosen one, they are told by someone else. They are not smart enough to figure it out. That's what throws me off. That's what makes me think that he's not it. Because it was, like, too easy. And the fact that he arrogantly assumes, oh, I must be the morning sun because the morning star. Because, I'm friends. It's like, no, it's too easy. Like, there's no way he's it. It's not. I don't think he's going to be it. I either think it's going to be Corbin, the young boy, if he's still alive, hopefully he is, or it's going to be Veridas. Or it could be someone like Cywin even. But I do not think it's going to be. One second. Hey, Dad! I don't think it's going to be, I don't think it's the Therum. I think that the fact that he assumes that he isn't, he's like, oh, obviously I'm the chosen one. I'm the morning star, and it's the morning sun. I mean, I think no, it is morning star. Sorry, it's a little confusing. Okay, So I ended up going to the bookstore just to get out and go do something other than going to work, because that's the only thing I've been doing. So I ended up getting like 3 books. So I got Tender is the Night by F. Scott Fitzgerald to continue my collection of collecting his books. Although I need to finally read some of his books other than The Great Gatsby. And I actually don't know. I don't know what that one's about. I just know it's 1920 set and it's F. Scott Fitzgerald. So, okay, next. Okay, the other 2 books I got were these really cool looking editions, which reminds me I'll have to take them off of Goodreads. These retro looking editions of Anthony Trollope's Barchester Tower series. This is the first one. Finally bought it. I was hoping to get it for Christmas, but although I'm very happy because I did get 2 of the books I've been wanting to get for so long, but for Christmas, finally getting them. So I now have The Warden, which is the first one. I have, I wonder what this is. I don't know what that is. I'll look at that later. Okay, so let's see. Let me see. I'm trying to find a list of. Okay, I'm trying to. Dang it! It doesn't. There's no list on that one. I'm sorry. I'm trying to find a list of the books. No, it's not in there. Okay. Dang it, I have to be careful because these are older books. Okay. No, it doesn't say it in there. There's gotta be a list around here somewhere. That way I don't have to go in the, I might have to. Okay, let's see. Sorry, you guys. I'm just trying to figure out the order of these books. But I know this is the last one. The Last Chronicle of Barset. I have this one. Oh, wait. Here, it's on the back. Okay, so I think I have all of them now. So I have The Warden now. Oh, that's not The Warden. I have The Warden. I have Dr. Thorne, which is. It doesn't say it. That doesn't help. Okay, let me look at my paperback copies of the other books. Okay. Oh, crap. Did I already have this one? Oh, wait, no, this is the last one. Okay, or second. Okay, let me see. Maybe this is a better list. find the list of the books in order. It's not there. Oh, by the way, obviously I'm someone that does not care about the whole, like, if I have hardbacks or paperbacks. Like, it doesn't bother me if, okay, so let me just go to Goodreads. Alright, you guys. Sorry, I just want to figure this out. I probably should wait until I'm done filming. But, wait, I'll do Google search. Come on. Okay, sorry, guys, this is being really annoying. Okay. Okay, sorry. So I now have The Warden is the first one. Okay, so I have The Warden. I have Barchester Towers is the second one. Paperback, like as I was trying to say, I don't really care if it's paperback or hardback. I just want the whole series so I can finally read it. And then after that is Dr. Thorne. Okay, and then let's see. Oh, that's book 4. I thought that was book 5. Family Parsonage, which, funnily enough, which was the only one that the library had of this series, which was really annoying. Small House Ellington. It's this one. And then The Last Barset Chronicles is book 6. So there you go. I have all books, all 6 books. I'm really all set, and now I can finally read that series. Okay, so that is enough updating you guys, because I wasted time on that. What I would love to know what you guys are currently reading. Feel free to share in the comments below. I hope you are always enjoying. I hope you're enjoying your reading. If you like this video, be sure to give a thumbs up. Click subscribe if you haven't already and you like this video. And I will talk to y'all later. Bye!